Start event. Excellent. Okay, so welcome. Hopefully you're joining in. We're also streaming this on YouTube. So once a week, we'll be randomly streaming one of our daily webinars on YouTube or maybe on Facebook, just to encourage other people that will show people what's happening. So we can see a couple of you in the attendees list there. So thank you for joining. If you've got any questions throughout the webinar, please let us know in the chat box down in the bottom right-hand corner. You can raise your hand if you want to turn on your microphone. We'll turn that on and you can speak as well. So we'll probably do that at the discussion point, apart from Becky. If you look down at the very far right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a little hand status. So looks like this. If you click on it, you'll see a few options, and that's where you can click on raise your hand, or you can object. I think there's a few disagree, speak louder, speak softer, so all that sort of thing. So, if you can hear me, that would be great to put a bit of a thumbs up. So let's get the show on the road. We're just going to put record mode in as well. So also just to let you know that all of these webinars are recorded and we put them on our software, which we'll get to a little bit later. So you can recap over old webinars. We'll hold them there for about a week. So you can recap over current ones, or we might hold some of the more important ones up for a longer period of time. So you can check back on that. So let's go into presentation. I'll let Becky introduce herself in a second. Am I running the presentation, Becky, or are you? I haven't introduced you because you can't speak yet.
No. It's okay though, because my mic is enabled all of the time. So hi everyone, I'm Becky. Hi again, Philip. Hi again, Robin. You already know me. John, I haven't met you, but we've been emailing. So hello, this is me.
Excellent. So we'll just go straight into the. Some of you were in already on yesterday's webinar, and we were looking at creating customer avatars. So again, that's on the portal. You'll see at the top there's a button to click register free. It is free, no catch, no contract, no cost, no nothing. And you can see yesterday's webinar to catch up on that. The benefit of being on live webinars is you can ask questions and get instant feedback. So today we're going to continue on from that. We're going to take those avatars and we're going to turn them into visitor journeys. And this is really good for your marketing, just to entice people to go to the right areas. So welcome. I am Simon Langham, Managing Director of Unibox Limited and web developer, blah, blah, blah. And Becky's just introduced herself. What do you do, Becky?
What I'm told.
There you go. And that's how you employ. Doesn't do it right all the time.
No, rarely.
So yeah, Unibox has been running for over 5 years now, creating websites. There's loads we've learned, and what we've decided, particularly with the current climate and situation, is to give all of our information away for free, particularly those who ask for it. We'll just let you know what the answers are, and we're not holding anything back, and making it as accessible as possible to help people that are probably in a less fortunate position than we are at the moment. So the agenda, or what we're going to be covering in this webinar for the first sort of 15 minutes, is what is a visitor journey, which are the routes your visitors may take, and funneling your visitors in a direction you want to take them. And then and we'll show you a couple of examples and how we do that, how that benefits your marketing overall and your website. And then we'll have a general discussion so you can talk about your topics in particular. I can see a couple more have joined, so just make sure that you raise your hands. Very bottom right hand corner, you've got the raise hand, and you can click on a little icon and make yourself known, or you can use the chat box, and we'll talk to you in there as well. And just to recap as well, that this is being live streamed on YouTube as well, although it's your comments are not on YouTube, it's just the presentation. So if we got your microphone on, that'll be great. I can see that Lance has raised a thumb up, so if you want to put a chat, if you want to put a question in there, then let us know, and we'll turn your microphone on if we want to listen to you, Lance. Right. So what is a visitor journey? A visitor journey is the way the website user navigates your website. Hopefully, it's quite self-explanatory. There's a bit more to it than obviously the basics, but there may be many routes that visitors can take, and we need to be able to cater for a lot of those. Primary routes are routes that you prefer them to take. So in an ideal world, wouldn't it be great if they just went onto your homepage, went, this is the place for me, then this is the place for me, and then just go to the contact page and sign up. That would be brilliant. That would be like your primary route. but you have to cater for people taking other options and addressing their concerns and things. So you have to allow for them to deviate from the primary route. And you can include other marketing material on the journeys. So we're going to talk specifically on websites because that's how we implement visitor journeys when developing a website and thinking about how people are going to navigate your website. But you can include social media. So, or like we would do with this webinar, the flow is we sign you up to a webinar, and then hopefully we can encourage you to sign up for free onto our WOW platform. That's our journey. And then on the WOW platform, we want you to create, click on the create a website link. So that's well displayed in the right place. You know, it looks as if it hasn't been designed, but it has. It's been designed with the visitor journey in mind. And the end goal is your call to action, which is typically your conversion. So whether it's purchasing something or inquiring about a service or getting an inquiry or just talking. So your call to action, you can have multiple, but recommend just having one, or certainly when you create your visitor journeys, you might have different call to actions depending on different avatars. They may be looking for different outcomes, but ultimately you're wanting to convert them to a lead or a contact detail of some sort or a purchase. Anything to add to that, Becky? What have I missed?
No, I think that was great. Very comprehensive.
Great, super. So what a typical, this may make a bit more sense when we get down to the examples, but just remember, and we can always come back over these. So which routes are they likely to take? So visitors, where are they coming from? And it's important to understand where they're coming from to be able to help them through their journey. So a Google search, they probably have a problem and they're looking for a solution. Recommendations are probably they've discussed something with somebody that may fit a scenario, so they're probably looking for a bit more reassurance or something. Blog posts and social media, where they're coming from, those they're probably not intending to purchase from your tool. They were not on the market for your products or services, but they came across something of interest that sparked their interest, and they've come through. So they're going to be very weak or cold leads, and you need to think about the journey as to how you can entice them to maybe even come back at a later date and continue. So depending on your avatar's behavior types, they will navigate in different ways, which I've kind of covered. But some are seeking guarantees of your trustworthiness. So they already want to do business with you, but they're not sure they can trust you. So they're going to be wanting to look at case studies and testimonials and things. Some are looking for pricing and timescale information. Pricing is one that most people miss off their way. Unless you're selling a physical product, people don't talk about price, and that's a real shame because your competitors probably are, and they're going to win. And people are looking for price. They're probably just looking for more information before they contact you because they want to seem as if they've done their research and they know what they're talking about before they contact you. There's some stat that 80% of people have made a decision whether they're going to use your services or not before they contact you. So you need to make sure that you've given all the information before they contact you. And some are just looking for research and inspiration needs. They're probably not going to contact you, but this is, I always put this to students. I've had customers before going, well, our website's great, but it's getting a lot of students, and they're not what we're looking for. So, well, actually, you are. You might not be looking for them now, but maybe give it 5 years' time. You've helped them get through their research in their university, and you've helped them pass something because you've given them some information across. And when they go into the working world, they're going to remember you if you give over the information. So, helping people with their research and giving them inspiration might not help you straight away, but it will help you over time. So that one's a really important one. And yeah, so back to Becky. Have I missed anything?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. I think those are all things you've given examples of what people might be looking for to get guarantees for your trustworthiness. So things like reviews and customer testimonials are really important because it shows that there are real people out there that have potentially used the service before and are happy with the service and would do business with you again. So all those kind of things can really add up to making you into a valuable brand that people are going to want to work with.
Mm-hmm. So it's all coming together really. So funneling your visitor journeys, we want to funnel the visitor avatars into groups. They give them all the necessary information, of course, and a lot of the time most websites lack information because business owners spend a lot of time thinking about their branding and the appearance of their website and not the information that website holds. And I'll always say a plain white website with black text clearly informing people will by far beat any website that has fancy animations and graphics and attention-grabbing videos. It really is about getting that information, answering those questions and those concerns, and then making it clear to navigate to the call to action. Your call to action is always visible, always there, and you're encouraging people to get to that call to action at some point, and for them to get in touch, sign up, make a purchase. So yeah, that's kind of copying the other one, isn't it? But yeah. We've got that. So now we've got some examples. We've got. I'll let Becky talk because she's the one that does the avatars and creates the journeys. But this continues as an example from yesterday's avatar. So if you've got an avatar, if you want to recap on this, go on to the platform, watch yesterday's webinar, and you'll end up. This is where you'll start. So yeah, go for it, Becky.
Yeah, I was just checking John was okay because he's been emailing us separately about not being able to chat, but it looks like you're in the chat box now, so I think you're okay. If is anything you wanted to interject, just type it in or raise your hand, or he's typing, and then let us know. We'll come back to you on that one. Okay, great. Yeah, you're in the right place. Okay, cool.
And throughout this, please leave your questions. So because we've got a couple of slides, then we'll get into general discussion. So any kind of discussions you want to add them in that little chat box, and we'll get onto those.
Yeah, as Simon mentioned yesterday, we had the creating our visitor avatars, which, just to debrief very briefly, is just an alter ego, if you will, of your ideal customer or customers that you really enjoyed working with. So for one of our clients, I created this avatar. So this was it's all a bit Americanized, this one, because it is an American company that we were working with at the time. So Sally here started off with an image, just some kind of specific information like age, gender, whereabouts she is in the world, what she does for work, particular hobbies, and all this builds up a picture of Sally as a person. Hopefully you can all see it on the screen. All right, so to create our visitor journey, we need to think about our avatars and think about how they may navigate your website and how they're likely to behave, whether they're the kind of people that are just going to go, oh yeah, okay, that looks good, sign up, job done. Wish everybody's like that, but that's very rare. Or whether they're the kind of people that do some research, come away from your website, they might come back again, they might be seeking some more information. When it gets closer to making that purchase or signing up, they may want more kind of detailed information like timescales and that kind of thing. So really kind of nailing down the avatar and thinking about how they would behave when they land on your website and through their eyes, really. So we've got some questions on there about how she'd do it. This is an example of Sally. No, it's all right. You can go ahead, Simon. Yep. So as you can see, there's two routes that we've got on here. So the thicker arrow is the primary route. So that's the route that we want them to take. And then you've got the thinner arrow, which is a secondary route, which they may go to. Obviously, we don't have any control over how they're going to navigate your website, but we do want them to go in a certain direction in order to lead them to that call to action, which is hopefully going to get them to contact you. So she has, the way she started was that she actually Googled the company name because she's been recommended by a friend. So that is a way that somebody may well come onto your website. So she lands on the landing page, which was relevant to her area, her location. She's having a look at the requirements to get her real estate license, but she does have many concerns that are going to need answering. So there's a few places she could go for her secondary route. She could head off to a blog article. There she may want to read things from other people in the same situation as her and their real life experiences. She then may want to head to the About page, just see how much exam prep is actually needed if she was going to complete this course. And then hopefully she's going to head down to the landing page, double checking all the information as she goes, and once she feels confident, she signs up. But as you can see, there are other routes that she can take. She may want to go to the frequently asked questions section. That's another really good place to give some trustworthiness to people, really kind of answering what they will need to know and not keeping anything back from them. And the pricing pages as well, which are important. And then you can see right at the bottom, you've got the journey end, which is sign up or contact with inquiry. So whatever your call to action needs to be, whatever you want them to do at the end of the journey, make sure that that is clear and that they will navigate to that at the end of their journey. Does that all make sense?
Yes, of course I did. But if you look at software to do this in, so this is just in PowerPoint, so you can just move out elements around and boxes. And I think the purpose for all of this that we've kind of explained is the next step after this in the development, the design development of a website is to do a wireframe. And the wireframe design does not look at the design, doesn't look at the colors. It doesn't look at any of that. It's purely a layout. Where would the buttons be positioned? What sections you're going to have? Where are images placed? To encourage people to look in the right areas. And what this does is say, well, if they've landed on the California landing page and they've got these concerns, is we need to make prominence of the blogs about and FAQ buttons, but not so much about. I don't know what else is left. This is quite a comprehensive one. We're kind of opening up to some are quite narrow. But yeah, maybe it doesn't have a click through to products or a documentation or we have got the FAQ section. But yeah, it kind of helps us think about the buttons, where they're positioned, to help people then click through to those relevant areas. And this is fluid. So when we do this, like with the avatars, we create an avatar, then we create a visitor journey, and then we implement it into the website. And in the first design, it will always change. You will always come back and edit your avatars, edit your visitor journey. It's an agile approach. It keeps changing and evolving as you learn things and look at Google Analytics. You can set up goals so you can track people to see whether they are taking this journey or not, and what percentage do or do not. Whether that's beneficial or not, and then you can alter things. But we're getting, that's getting into complicated territory. Just having that nice, just having these two slides to think about your visitor, what journey are they likely to take, will help you not so much think about the buttons you need to add in, but what not to have. One good example is Amazon's website. Obviously, they want you to purchase, and everyone always cites the fact that their buttons are orange, and orange is a very good call to action button color. But one of the reasons why their product pages work so well is that the only button with color, or the only element on the page apart from the logo, the little tick, is the Buy Now button. It works not because the button is orange, it works because nothing else on that page is orange. And it gives over all the information. It's all centered around giving the information. And so they've sat through and thought about, well, who's purchasing? They found the information. They've been enticed with a nice, colorful picture. There's a good bullet point list of products. And then there's a button, Buy Now button to the side of it. So it seems simple when you look at the outcome, but you really do need to sit down and think about what is the preferred visitor journey.
And I think just to add on to Amazon, I don't know the exact statistics, but since they changed from the buy button to buy it now, where you don't have to put in your credit card details, it's already saved all that, it knows where it's sending it to, it's literally one button and that's it, it's completely frictionless. Their sales have just increased just massively just because of that. So if you give your visitors on your website a load of friction and a load of kind of obstacles, they're like, oh, where am I going, don't know, they're probably just going to get confused and just leave your website and bounce away. Whereas with Amazon, they've done it so simply, so easily. I mean, I'm sure we've all just been sat in, I don't know, a queue somewhere, and then just going to buy it now. It's just so simple to do, isn't it? It's just easy, and that's what you need to make it easy for your visitors, basically.
Yeah, one of the key successes of many websites. Not sure Amazon's the best example for this one, but many of those subscription services you would sign up to with the navigation bar at the very top of the page, the fewer options you have, the better. So you really have to think about what options you're giving people. We're all desperate to say that we can do everything and anything, but the fewer options you have, and the pricing pages are just the number one click on that navigation. If you've got pricing, it's up there at the top. Products, catalogs, things like that. But yeah, pricing. If you sell a service, if you call it pricing, people go straight to it because that's probably their number one concern. And so many business owners don't want to talk about price. Well, we'll give them an inquiry. We'll learn a little bit before we do that. But you need to give some kind of an indication as to how much it's going to cost before they contact you. So part of the visitor journey is having the pricing section on there. So the next section is discussion, and we must be answering all your questions because you haven't been put. Which is very different from yesterday. So maybe we'll learn. I know that Phil's on, and Phil raised a very good point last time, is what is an avatar? And that's, we didn't cover that. So hopefully we've we've explained what a journey is. But if you have any questions, raise your hand or put them in the chat. But we can go on and have a bit of a discussion. Maybe I can see some people typing away there, so that's good. So maybe talking on from the next step from this, which we're not doing a webinar on, so we probably will do at some point. But yeah, really thinking about how things are positioned on your website. That's really what the purpose of all of this is, and how that relates to social media is thinking about how, when you put content out, a lot of the times social media discourage you from putting links back to your website because they don't want to lose you visitors from their platform. But how do we encourage people to go through to the right places when we can't use that link is sometimes difficult. So we have to think about that in our journey, how we can remove the friction, knowing that sometimes the easiest way is not necessarily the best way. Yeah, just kind of work around that. What are your social media platforms there for? Are they there to sell? I would say no. Are they there to socialize? The clue's in the name. Yes, it is. How do you socialize with people on social media?
I think Philip's got a technical issue. He's just sent us an email.
Okay.
I can't see chat. Screen is truncated. What does that mean?
Truncated. Oh, stretched.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know about that. John, in answer to your question, yesterday's webinar, which you can find if you head up to here, register for free. You can go onto your portal. It is completely free. You literally just need a username and a password to sign in. And when you're in there, you will be, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, you will be into this screen just here, and you can see the archive of webinars, which I'm just hovering over there. So in there, you will find yesterday, we did the webinar on how to create your avatars and why it's important to do so. And Robin and Lance were having discussions with some of us yesterday that we're going to get together tomorrow morning. Is it at 10 o'clock, Simon, on Zoom?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to get our heads together tomorrow morning. So you're more than welcome to join us on that. We can send you a link. And we're going to have a little bit of a brainstorming session about how we can come up with our customer avatars, and hopefully that will help you. So let us know if you want to be involved in that. Robin has popped in the link, so that's cool.
Oh, that's a great one. HubSpot's a great source of information, and yeah, they've got it. So make a persona. Yeah,
cool.
HubSpot.com/make-my-persona.
What are we going to do about Philip?
What's a good question. So, I don't know. We'll end up turning it into a technical support webinar if we're.
Should we?
All I can suggest, Phil, is that this webinar is hosted through a browser. So, I don't know. Maybe refresh the page on your browser. Maybe that will reconnect. Not too sure. Maybe it's half of it's onto another screen. Or what would be great if you could take a screenshot and send that in an email. That'll give us an idea.
Yeah, we'll check, can't we? I've just unlocked the mic, Philip. So if you can, if you have your facility to get to your mic, then hopefully we can hear you.
If anyone wants to speak, let us know. We can mic you up and we can talk.
Shall I just go ahead and unlock everybody?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, why not? What's the worst that could happen? So when we enable all the microphones for everyone, you'll have, if you hover over over our faces, you'll see 3 little buttons, or maybe 2, I can't remember, on your view, and you'll see microphone on or off. It should be a grey button with a microphone, and you can click that, and the microphone will come on. So if you just hover over, you might have to click in the window and just hover over our faces, and you should see towards the bottom, or hover over the presentation, and you should see those buttons. I think everyone's going to be shy, though.
I've tried it. Can you hear me?
Lance, the expert here.
Yeah, I'm very good at clicking buttons.
That's great. So have you got any questions, Lance? How have you got, because you're on yesterday's avatar creating? Yes. Have you put any together? Have you had any time or?
Not yet. I've got I've allocated some time this afternoon to have a look at that, and that thing that Robin's just sent through I'll have a look at that as well, the HubSpot thing, because that looks interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have a go. I'm going to get Alison to have a go as well, actually, because I thought she'd be quite good at thinking about who our potential customers are for Brand My Thingy.
Okay, cool. Is it making a bit more sense now we've talked about the visitor journey as well, that you can kind of envisage it?
Yeah, it's given me a lot of ideas, actually. Yeah, because at the moment, it's from my website that I'm building. I'm going to be kind of, I suppose, it's kind of getting engagement with potential customers for the future. So trying to get them to sign up for a newsletter. So that will be a route through, really, and putting information also about us so that people can understand that the way the profits work and how it goes back to support Bright Kids. So there's a lot of information that I can put on the website there to lead people to it, because the people I'm interested in are the people who want to have a social impact with their purchasing. So it needs to be, they need to be able to see that quite clearly on the website. This is a major USP.
Definitely. And I think when you're getting people to sign up for a newsletter, or you're thinking about a contact form on your website, less is definitely more. You don't want them to have so many obstacles to jump through and spend 15 minutes filling in a form in order to get one newsletter. You don't need their inside leg measurement and where they went on holiday last year and what they had for breakfast. Literally just needs to be, their name, email address. Jobs are good and simple. That's all you need.
Although capturing that information would help. I could compare that with the avatar and see how close I was.
Yes, you could. Yes. Simon, I think Robin's got a question. Possibly.
Yeah, that's how to get visitors to your site. That's a whole nother webinar. But actually, it links in a little bit with. I was thinking about when, as Lance, you were kind of saying about getting information over and getting people to sign up for future. And I think people getting visitors to websites. I mean, there's so many tactics there, but I think if you just give information, we're doing this. We're stepping it up a notch, and it's kind of working. We've seen visitor numbers go up on our website, which is really good, quite considerably. But it's really about just giving information through lots of different means and getting comfortable with doing that. And then you'll find the companies that have done this consistently for many years, they get picked up by Google and get rewarded by appearing on their Discovery channel, for example, higher up on their rankings, because platforms like Google and social media, they give favoritism to websites that consistently and historically have always provided the best advice that people want to engage with. If you dabble in this for a month and you think, oh, my article's not hit, then you're never going to win. You have to be consistent. You have to, and that's something we've always struggled with. On and off, we do our marketing, we don't, then we do, then we don't. We focus on other things and come back to it, and you've just got to do it for a long period of time. And this lockdown scenario that we're in at the moment is a great time for us to just write a year's worth of articles so we can consistently schedule them over the next year. And Lance, while you're thinking about your content, it doesn't matter knowing that you sell products. Is if you look at those individual products, the more you can talk about those products, the better. I'm in a buying scenario at the moment of buying prams with my wife, and it's amazing how little information there is. You go on and you can get a whole travel system, but they only sell part of it, and you don't know what what connects to what, and they don't give information, and it's really, really hard. And it's really hard to make a decision knowing that we can only buy online, so we can't go off to a shop now to purchase a pram. We really have to do our research online, and it's near impossible and frustrating because you can't do it confidently. So if you're selling products, the more information you can put on there, which products work well with other products, how big is it to send in the post, how long does it take to make, how eco-friendly is it, where is it made, what part of the world, what standards are built from it, everything. The more information you can give, the more information you then have to share later on down the line on your social media and to answer and draw that. And that then ties back to Robin, your question, how to get people to your website, is being consistent and putting content out there. There's no silver bullet. There's never, I've never come across a silver bullet. The only people that get rewarded with high number of visitors of our customers, they have been consistently for many years doing the same level of marketing answering the same kind of questions and being helpful. They're the ones that win. So if you're a micro business, it's going to take time, and you've got to start and just keep it going. And we'll do other webinars where we talk about getting a featured snippet is a good way of getting visitors to your website. I think what day is that?
That's on Monday.
Monday at 1:00, we'll talk about how to get a featured snippet. That's really useful. That's a very good one for you, Robin. I think that will work really well for you. Tomorrow we've got LinkedIn and how to create articles. We did a workshop, so you can join in on that one.
Big interest to me.
Yeah, that one's good for creating. We're website experts, not social media. So LinkedIn. That was Phil, wasn't it? So yeah, did you manage to get on the microphone, which is good.
I was going to say Phil's little initials have popped up on the the screen now.
So yeah, the LinkedIn is about how you create an article and break it into 7 parts. So then you've got 7 topics within an article to share out over LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So that'll help get visitors to your website. But again, you've got to be consistent. You can't put. I've very rarely seen it. The only times I've seen someone put an article out and get hundreds of visitors are the people that have been writing articles for 2 or 3 years in the past, and they've built up slowly and gradually an audience consistently, and then they have success. I haven't to date seen anybody have viral success off an article. And if you know anyone, let me know. But I can talk about people who have had viral successes from being consistent and working at it. What are the tips and tricks, best keywords for your business? So on Wednesday the 8th, we have tips and tricks for the best keywords for your business. That might help you rank on Google.
Just come every day at 1:00. You'll find lots of information.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
You got any questions, Phil? Now you've managed.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Really weird with my screen. It's just not showing the bottom area of the chat box, so I can't actually type in chat or anything like that. But that's a technical issue. What I would say is that yesterday I went to the Build Your Own Website course, and starting to go through that, which is good. I'm actually looking to sell some of my art online, some of my pictures, some of my photographs. So that's going to be a useful test bed to see how well I can knock that website together and see what it does.
So that's some of your art, did you say, Phil?
Art. Art.
So is that your being a photographer? Is this photography art that you've created and you're mastering and putting? That's brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So you've seen the London picture. You've seen the barn by the water.
Yeah.
And these are things that I'm producing as fairly large prints in box frames.
Yeah.
So,
can I ask a question? Sorry, I haven't put my hand up, but what is the Build Your Own Website course? What's that?
So so far I've put 5 modules up. It really is, I'm taking people through a step-to-step process of building a WordPress website with AMP. So it's highly, thank you, by the way, for the opportunity to plug this. So it is, it's a step-by-step. So with WordPress, there's a lot of different themes and plugins you can use. And what I've done is create the best, most optimal. So by the time you follow this course and created a website, it will perform better than most agency themed websites because it's got Google's AMP and we'll take you through all the steps to get that set up. And at the moment, I think we're 4 or 5 modules in with the content there. And that's some of them, to be honest, at the beginning, they're essential slides, but they are a bit technical. We're talking about domain names, hosting, how you connect your domain to point it to your hosting and giving a bit of an understanding and an overview of that. And you also get a free theme setup. So you can install WordPress with all of the plugins and the themes necessary to get started. And then you just need to change the logo and the color and the branding. And then we talk through the Gutenberg theme, how you can drag and drop elements, how and lots of good practice in there, like what your header should be, laying out a page using the AIDA principles, so attention, information, desire, and action. How to style buttons, how to put in images, how to format images, how to put contact forms in, how to optimize it for SEO, your meta title, your meta description. I could go on and on and on. It's all going to be in that course for free. So at the end of the course,
You're almost sounding like you know what you're doing. It's careful.
You.
Talk's a good story.
And it's, I mean, the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity again to kind of get it across, though. Although it's free, we're kind of taking that bold step of hearing we're always told as business owners we have to be freely giving of our information, and the more information we give, the more people will return and want to do business with you because they accept that. But you still hold back, don't you? Because you think, well, that's my secret source. We can't tell you that. But what we're really doing is just create the free course, give all the information out, because at the end of the day, many people right now don't have the money, but they do have the time. And they can create their own course. And then maybe in 3-6 months' time, when people don't have the time, but they do have the money because of what they've done, then they may come back. Of course, it's business sense to us. And it might help you with thinking about how you get through the next 3 to 6 months. But then when they don't have the time, but they do have the money, because you've helped them, you'll be the first people they go to. And I think we're always going to work on it. Well, I think this course will always be free because we recognize that there are some people that have the time and are prepared to do it for themselves and connect sometimes for some help, but there are also those that they can see the information and they will therefore want to pay for us to do it to save them a bit of time. So that's the reasoning behind it. It's a truly genuinely free platform to do that.
So how do we get to this course? Is there a link?
Yeah, it's a button at the top, or if you go to www.unibox.com. That takes you there, or you can click on the link at the top, or if you're watching this live on YouTube, then you can read it in the description. I think I've left a link.
Cool. Okay.
And I think on the screen as well, it says at the bottom there, wow.unibox.com.
It's everywhere. There's plenty of call to actions.
Oh, yeah. And one of them is orange.
Cool.
One of them is orange.
One of them is orange, you're right. Cool. You're very welcome, John and Robin. All good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
who's coming tomorrow then? Hands up.
Yes.
Yes. Lovely.
Yeah.
Good.
So tomorrow 1 o'clock.
No. Put their hands up. That's awesome.
I can't do the hand either.
Oh,
I wonder why.
What is going on? Oh.
Really weird.
It'd be great to get a screenshot, Phil, of your screen, and we can then put that to Click Meetings and see.
I don't know what you're doing, Lance, but I've got this and that.
I just tried everything out.
Yeah. That's a shame, Robin, but you will be able to get them from the portal. So just head to that link.
Robin, I think you came to our workshop for LinkedIn, so that was covered in that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there for sure.
But yeah. Okay. Right, I'm going to end the live stream on YouTube now, but I'll keep